Okay, so here we are back with our sectional chart. Now we're going to take our VFR plotter. Now we talked about this earlier. There's a couple of traps that are very easy to fall into when you're using your VFR plotter to measure distance. First of all is you need to make sure you're on the correct side. You need to be on the nautical side of the plotter. So right now we're on the nautical side. The other side is labeled statute miles. If you see statute miles, you're doing it wrong. Go back to the nautical side right here. Another thing to keep an eye on is the scale along the line here. So you've got the World Aeronautical Chart Scale and then the sectional scale. You need to use the sectional scale because you're using a sectional chart. If you use the World Aeronautical Chart Scale, you will be doing it wrong and your planning will be totally inaccurate. So make sure you're on the nautical side using the sectional scale. Very important that you check those things. So we verified that we're using the correct scale. So to determine our distances between checkpoints, we can go ahead and overlay our plotter and align it with our first checkpoint and our departure airport. So it looks to be that we have, I would say, about 3 to 4, we could round it to 4 miles between our departure airport and our first checkpoint. So actually it's probably closer to 3. Why don't we call it 3 miles? So in our navigation log, you'll notice that there is a column labeled distance, and then the first box is labeled leg, the second box is labeled remaining. This particular box right here is for total distance, which we will determine once we've figured out the distance between each individual checkpoints. We'll add all those together to come up with our total. So this box will remain blank for now, but this box here correlates to this leg, and then this box here correlates to this box, which is distance remaining. So our leg distance we just determined was 3 miles between our departure airport and our first checkpoint. So in that box we're going to place the number 3. Okay, pretty simple so far. Now we'll take a look at our next checkpoint, the distance between those, between our first checkpoint and our second checkpoint. That looks to be about 5 nautical miles. So on our navigation log we are going to put the number 5. Our next set of checkpoints, the distance between those looks to be about 7 nautical miles. So on our navigation log, the number 7. Our next point here looks to be about 14. There we go. Now the next one's going to be a little trickier. So if we have our checkpoint marked here, we can flip over to the other side of the chart. And remember that checkpoint was just to the south of that small pond there. We flip over back to the other side of the chart. We can actually see that small pond on the chart side of the chart here, so our checkpoint is probably literally right at the very edge of the chart here. So that should be fairly easy if we assume the checkpoint is right there. We'll overlay our plotter on that, and that looks like to be about 9, perhaps when we call it 10, about 10 nautical miles between those two checkpoints. That right here, number 10. Now our next checkpoint, distance between those. So our checkpoint that we're looking at, refold the chart. So we're looking at our Huntersville checkpoint and our Park Rapids checkpoint there. Distance there. It's to be Park Rapids and Rooney. It's to be about 16 miles. Oops. Call that 16. Between Rooney and just near that airport of Jolly Fisherman. It's a unique name for an airport. That looks to be about 11 miles. Okay. Now we'll go to our second navigation log for our next checkpoints. So we have that road south of Twin Lakes, which is right here near Jolly Fisherman, and then the next checkpoint goes up by Monoman. So it looks like to me that's about 16 miles between those points. So we'll put that there. From Monoman to Fertile, looks to be about 19 miles. So, flip the chart again, or fold the chart. So we had our distance between Monoman and Fertile, so we're looking for our distance between Fertile and Crookston. To be about 18 miles. Now we're looking for the distance between Crookston and Mallory. That looks to be about 12 miles. And then finally our distance between Mallory and our destination, Grand Forks. About 12 miles. Okay, so now that we have our distances for our individual legs, we can add those all together to determine our total distance. Math is not my favorite subject in the world, so I'm going to use a calculator here to add up all these numbers. So we have 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 14 plus 10 plus 11 plus 16 plus 11 plus 16 plus 19 plus 18 plus 12 plus 12. We got a total distance of 154 nautical miles. So we're going to place that at the top of our column there for distance, 154. So now with a total distance of 154, we can now fill in the boxes below our leg distance. So that'll be distance remaining after completing each leg. So we start with a total distance remaining of 154 nautical miles. Once we have traveled 3 miles between Brainerd and the eastern shore of North Long Lake, that would leave us with 151 nautical miles to go. So 151 minus 5, that will put us at 146. And then minus 7, that will put us at 139. Minus 14, 125, and then we've got 115 after that 10 miles, and then we have 113, 4. And then we have 16 miles, which will bring us to 88 miles remaining. And then 11 miles will bring us to 77 miles remaining. So if we wanted to, you could transfer that 77 up here at the top. So 77 minus 16, that puts us at 61 miles to go. Minus 19 puts us at 42 miles to go. Minus 18 puts us at 24 miles to go. Minus 12 puts us at 12 miles to go. And 12 minus 12 is 0, because we're at our destination at that point. Therefore, there's no distance remaining. So now we've got our distances all filled out on our navigation log between each of our checkpoints. So now our next step will be to determine our true course, which will go in this column labeled TC for true course.